Hi, Michael.
Hi.
Today's question is, what would be the best way to introduce our children to this path from an early age? What recommendations and practical examples would you recommend beyond the examples themselves, which is the most important? And what precautions and cares would be recommended in this regard?
This is basically a question about parenting. When we have children, we try to bring them up with good influences. We try to teach them how to behave respectfully to people. We try to mold them in a certain way. Of course, the children grow up and they learn most things. They learn not because of what they're taught, but in spite of what they're taught. It's natural for a child to learn. And children learn a lot, not just from what we say, but also from example. So if we have interest in following Bhagavan's path, we can sometimes we can be talking about these things to our children. But if we find them, we shouldn't try to impose our ideas and our beliefs on them. The child is maybe physically born to us, but it's not our child. Every child is its own individual. So some people will naturally be drawn to this path. Some people will have no interest in this path at all. So we shouldn't try to impose on our children what they expect, and we shouldn't try to expect them to like what we like or be interested in what we're interested in. We can try to expose them to these things, and if they're interested, they will follow up on it. If they're not interested, it's not for us to impose our ideas and beliefs on them. It's a matter of it's simply a matter of like with everything, you try to introduce your children to good ideas, good ways of behaving, and to be kind and respectful and to people. These are all just normal part of parenting. So this can go, introducing them a little by little to the ideas of Bhagavan's teachings can also be part of parenting. But it's just like it's Bhagavan of his own accord never gave teachings to anyone. Only when people came to him and asked, did he give teachings. We should follow a similar example. We are not to go and give these teachings to anyone who is not interested. So if we want to introduce our children to these ideas, we have to do so in a very gentle way, without imposing our ideas on them, without having high expectations. But they were going to be interested in what we're interested in. They may be interested, they may not be interested. That's according to their level of spiritual maturity. So it's as parents, we have responsibility, but our responsibilities are limited. We cannot mold our children in our image. We have to let them grow according to their own interests, their own inclinations. We try our best to guide them, to put them on the right path, to teach them good habits, good behavior, to teach them to be kind and gentle and not to cause harm to other living beings. All these things we can do. I mean, this is a natural part of parenting. But ultimately, the child is their own person. They will grow up according to their own. When we are born in this world, we are born with baggage from the past. We have our own vasanas or samskaras from the past, own inclinations, interests, and so on. So when we are a parent, we have to we want to guide our children in a proper way, but we have to do so with a certain detachment, without too much expectation, because our children are not going to turn out just like us. They may be better than us. They may be. I mean, it's we don't know. We have no control over what sort of soul is born to us. As parents, if we give birth to children, it could be a very pure soul. It could be a soul full of desires and attachments, and so there's what we can do as a parent to influence our children is limited. We do our best, and we leave the rest to God. So, but always in Bhagavan's path, we should not be. Our concern should be about. We should be concerned about our own practice. Are we turning our attention back towards ourselves? Are we surrendering ourselves? If we're surrendering ourselves, then we are leaving the burden of what we should do, how we should behave, how we should bring up our children. We're leaving all that burden to God. God will guide us appropriately. So leave it to him. Leave it to Bhagavan. He will take care of everything. So we shouldn't have high expectations, but our children are going to be just are going to have the same interests as us, because in practice, it's not up to us how our children turn out to be.
Parents know intuitively that when their child is born, for example, they think that they're very different from their parents, and they notice that they are wired in a way that is not compatible with them, for example, or he shows some features that are uncommon, for example, or not known in the family or something like that. No? Intuitively, I think we have that kind of intuition, or so to speak. I don't know how to say. So, Michael, anyway, it's parents shouldn't worry, because in a sense, everything is predestined. For a child, it could be predestined to run into a book, a teaching, a guru, or whatever their parents teach. So in any case, we shouldn't worry as parents about that, right?
Yes. And also, another thing I was going to say is, we are parents of the body. We are not parents of the soul. The soul which is born to us, that is according to our destiny, our prarabdha. Certain souls are born to us as children. According to the prarabdha of the children, they are born with us as parents. So everything is according to destiny. And it's why a particular child is born to us, that is all that is known to Bhagavan, to God. So that's why we have to, whatever we do, I mean, not only, this applies not only to parenting, but to anything we do in life. We need to do it with detachment, without expectation of achieving the results that we would like to achieve. So we can, another way of considering it, Bhagavan has given the child in our care. So long as they're small, we provide for all their bodily needs, and we try to guide them in a proper way in terms of their learning good values, good morals, and introducing them maybe a little to Bhagavan's teachings to see if they have any interest or taste for it. Beyond that, I mean, it's the outcome of all these things, we leave it entirely to Bhagavan, because we are trying to follow the path of surrender, to accept whatever happens as his will, for the good of all concerned.